You're getting pulled so far out thinking you're doing a good cause.
Right.
I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the beach. Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast in Florida. I am Spencer Cartier.
I am Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle, who is that?
He fell asleep for 100 years or something.
And this here is
Flamingo Frank.
We sure do miss Frank at our time here in Florida. But what's up, guys? It's week number 2 of us being in Florida.
We will be reunited with Frank soon.
Next week.
Yeah.
Next week. How do you feel now that you've been in Florida for more than a week?
How do I feel?
How do you feel about it?
How do I feel about it?
It's no longer a vacation.
Right.
Now you're waking up and you're doing the day-to-day. You're going to the gym. You're climbing trees for food to get your lunch.
Mangoes. I like the weather.
You like the weather?
Mm-hmm.
It's getting colder over in Philadelphia.
Yes.
People are telling me I'm getting my telephone. They're saying, be prepared. And I'm saying, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, I don't do good in cold weather. But I do, you're saying it's not a vacation, but I don't really live here. So I would like my own stuff back, So that part's always nagging.
I don't.
Okay.
Like I have this thing where I don't know if it's a Gen Z thing, since I'm like Gen Z. I think there's monkeys fighting.
I think it's just squirrels.
I have this thing where Gen Z, it's no longer like you're in your house or you stay.
Well, I found out that you're a zillennial.
What?
You're a zillennial.
I'm on the cusp. So
yeah.
You're saying I don't belong to either?
Because remember, you have to be younger than Google older than Google. You have to be younger than Google.
Tell the public that. So I tell you guys I'm Gen Z all the time because I am. Look at this chart. It says 96 is Gen Z. But my co-host here graciously looked up when Google was made.
Right.
And she said this is the ideal.
You're off by 2 hours. 2 hours.
This is the ideal cutoff between millennials and Gen Z. If you were born with Google, you're Gen Z. If you weren't, and that's in what, 98?
90.
97.
Yeah, whatever it was, you just missed it.
But I don't know.
90. Yeah, I don't know what it was. But if you're that close, you really aren't going to have the similarities of someone who was born in 1990 or 1985. 85, right?
Like, yeah.
So you are a zillennial.
I don't like that. Oh, I often find myself, I think my whole life is not enough this, not enough that. I feel like I fall in between that for
No, I can see that.
For a lot of things in my life. I can see
that.
And so you're telling me now to add one more thing that I'm not this, I'm not that, is I'm not Gen Z, I'm not millennial.
So anyway, you were saying that you don't need to go home to get your stuff. No,
I find that I adapt very quickly to new places.
Good.
And not in the sense of like my friends and my things I'm comfortable with. Not like that. I'm saying like in a purely living situation. Like right now we're at a beautiful place. Little Florida place, and fully furnished and stuff.
Right.
Almost instantly it becomes in my head my own. Like not like I'm not like I lay claim to this, but on a comfort standpoint.
Right.
Like I could realistically move into a different living situation. Obviously I don't want to be in an empty room.
Right.
But that's like furnished, and I adapt pretty quickly to that, and I sort of don't yearn for the last place or that bed or my TV opposed to this TV. Like I
can be that way.
Don't just try to hop on the bandwagon now that I said it.
Okay.
Well, when I said I wanted to go home, what I meant was
I'm a what are you? You're a zillennial. I was trying to think of what am I? Generation X? I'm generation.
You're a
Gen X.
Maloomer.
I'm a Gillennial. Who cares? But I can adapt, and I can live somewhere else, and I can say, okay, this is where we are now. But I would start to make it my own. And I can't. I can, but why would I? Like, I'm leaving. You know what I'm saying? So
just give me my backpack full of some things, and
Yeah.
my bodyboard, and I can be in and out. I should be a squatter.
Yeah, or a house sitter if you want to be above board.
Yeah, I was thinking of what kind of job I could have with that. Like, I think squatting. Can I put that on my...
If anyone needs a house sitter,
A house sitter
contact
who
us.
doesn't leave and then brings it to court
No,
long enough for you to give up on it.
no.
So,
Not true.
We just got back from somewhere.
Miami.
Miami. Oh, Miami.
Roll
We
the
just-
Miami Vice clip.
We just took a trip to Miami. Short trip. We just wanted to see it.
Some people would say a long trip. We are travelers.
Nomads.
We are travelers, which makes it. We consider 5 hours to be
That's
a
nothing.
very short, easy trip.
Very short, easy
Other
trip.
people would say, "What are you doing? How did you do that?"
Yeah. We're in North Florida. Took a trip to South Florida. Wanted to see Miami.
Yeah.
Happy. I'm happy we went. It's definitely totally different than where we are.
Yes.
Went to South Beach.
Yeah. For people who don't know Florida,
It's huge.
is completely almost surrounded by beaches, from north on the Atlantic coast down to south, and then east on the Gulf Coast. And you also have that piece up here that connects.
Yeah.
Where is that? Tallahassee or something. But anyway, you get all different
Yeah.
weather vibes,
It's funny.
people and offerings.
It's funny how people think things differently when they're not there. Like someone who's not in the same country as you
Right.
would say, "Oh, you're from America." Like,
Right.
Like, what's California like? I've never been to California my entire life. And then beyond that, someone in America would assume like, "Oh, you're from Philadelphia. What's Pittsburgh like?" I've driven through Pittsburgh once. Like,
Right.
I've never even set foot in the city.
Right.
In the same state. And so, even before I came to Florida, like ever, I'd imagine anyone in Florida could tell me about Miami.
Right.
But realistically,
No.
from top to bottom, it's
Right. And when
6 hours.
When we're in Philadelphia, we don't take a jaunt to We don't take a jaunt to Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Right?
Yeah.
No desire. No offense. Go Steelers.
Offense. All full offense.
Awful.
Awful.
We don't say, well, oh, Pittsburgh is so close, let's just run on over there. We don't. So same thing, people here in North Florida probably don't say, let me run down to Miami. But since we're visiting, we were like, we'll do it.
Yeah, it's like...
And it was totally different.
When you are within 5 hours, because I wouldn't take a trip 24 hours.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it was nice.
Big city,
Big city.
but Caribbean beach.
Big city, Caribbean beach. What I found interesting about the city, which I didn't know, is... most skylines in cities, it's office buildings and like
Right.
there's some living areas.
Yeah.
But the main skylines is comprised of like office buildings. Where Miami, it's almost entirely made up of condos. So it's
Yeah.
like a huge city. You're like, whoa, look at this skyline. Then
Right.
you look closer and it's like those are all huge skyscraper condos,
Yeah.
which kind of makes sense. Like
Yeah.
there's not like a Miami's Market Street where they're putting pen to paper. It seems like more of their money is based off of tourism. And the beach, yeah, blue waters, awesome. They have those like what they have in California, the gyms outside. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If I did, and it was nice when you go somewhere and you see a little like, you're like, yes, this is it. Like you had the Muscle Beaches, and then had these girls just and guys actually going by with their rollerblades,
Yeah.
and I'm like, we're in Miami, aren't we? But and then they're also known for their nightlife, but we're Christians. Tell
We're Christian.
them.
It was a day trip.
It was a day trip, and we are back now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything? Is that all from our trip?
Yes.
So, guys, as you know, today is...
One Word Wednesday.
I was just going to say Wednesday and then get into that, but
Oh.
it also is One Word Wednesday. And you know what we do? We pick a word. We go through the week. The weekend
We
passes.
need a butterfly net.
Yeah. We don't have it. and we grab a word and we look at this word like a baby.
Yeah.
And we say, this is just a baby.
Yeah.
But it will one day grow up to be a man.
Potential. Yeah.
Or a woman.
Yeah.
It has potential.
Yes.
And with words, they have the same in real context and in spiritual context.
Right.
This is a spiritual podcast. Remember that. And so that's what we do on Wednesday. We just pick a random word and we talk about it. Okay. Quit giving us grief about it. This is what we do. This is our show. We do what we want.
This is One Word Wednesday, but tomorrow will not be.
No. Okay. I just gave a whole talk about One Word Wednesday. Now you want me to talk about Walk Through Thursdays. On Thursday, what we do is we pick a verse from the Bible and we talk about it. We slow it down. We go by sentence, word by word, line by line, and we break it down for you. But that's not today. Today is One Word Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay.
You all right?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Coffee.
The word is rip.
Rip?
Rip.
Wait. Is this an important paper?
Yeah.
Rip.
Rip. And you noticed. Tell me I messed it up.
No,
okay.
We're good.
My name was Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle.
Rip is a Dutch name and it means ripe or fully grown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like that German type of way where the word kind of is almost the
almost
same.
Kind of blends on in.
I love that. I follow a family on Instagram. They're Australian and they have dwarfism. The dad and the mom, and they have 2 different types of dwarfism. They had the first baby had her type, second baby had his type, third baby is just going to be average height. It doesn't have any type of dwarfism, so they named him Rip. And that's how I learned the meaning of the name, because they liked the fact that fully grown, like he's going to be of average size.
Me and my Gen Zers, we say Rip as R.I.P. Rip.
That's why the name isn't very popular, because when you see it written, like she had baby stuff written and it said R.I.P. and it's like it has rest in peace.
R.I.P. to me, am I right?
Bad connotation. But the way we're going to talk about Rip today is something that we've been experiencing, seeing a lot on signs at the beach, and it is warnings about rip currents.
Rip tides.
Rip tide.
Lady running down to the rip tide. Wait, hold on. Let me do that again.
Lady running down to the rip tide, taken away to the dark side. I want to be your left-hand man. I love you when you sing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong.
Okay.
That's Vance Joy.
I love it.
One of my favorite songs. It's called Riptide.
I love it. Riptide and rip current, and just the word rip, and undertow are all used interchangeably. And a lot of times it's wrong because it's very specific what these things are.
Oh, they're different.
They're different.
Like a rip current's different than a rip tide?
Yes. So just very quickly, I'll tell you. Undertow. Undertow is when you go right on the shore there in the water and the wave crashes over you and you get pulled under.
Oh, okay.
That's
normal.
That's just the normal undertow.
That just happens like when I'm boogie boarding.
Happens all the time. And
you stand up.
You stand up. If you're a small child or if you're someone who has a disability or is older, you might end up getting stuck in the undertow.
Yeah.
And you want to crawl out. You want to try to get out or get help. Generally, if you are a healthy person and you are ripe, fully grown, you don't have a problem with the undertow.
Get some light on me.
Rip tide. Rip tide is much more
dangerous.
It's called a tidal. I forget what it's called. Oh, a tidal jet. Rip tide has to do with the way that land is formed in bays and stuff, and the fishermen and sailors, they always check out for the rip tides and tidal jets. You're not going to experience it swimming on a beach.
That's in water.
That's out there.
Okay.
And obviously, it's way more dangerous.
So that's the one that's probably more commonly used wrong.
Right.
People will call a rip current a rip tide.
Right.
I'm guessing what we're getting at.
That's exactly
Okay.
correct. But the thing that we're talking about, and the thing that we've experienced, the things that we've seen, and unfortunately, when we were here, thing that took someone's life, right, a few streets over, at the beach and at that beach, is a rip current.
Rip current.
The rip current happens, just
From the base of the beach.
yeah, out, and that is, you can explain it.
So what a rip current is, guys, very general idea is it happens when there's two sand bars that form.
Right.
You know, sandbars are very normal. It's just the different elevations of the sand. And then on the two sides of the normally elevated sandbars, there's a lower part of sand in the middle. And that causes, think of wind through a city. Wind passes through the skyscrapers and creates a wind tunnel and
Right,
shoots. And
yeah.
that's why, you know, Chicago's the windy city. It's shooting through the buildings. When the water comes into the surf, all of it crushes and shoots back out through that channel that
Okay.
was created underwater. The problem comes in when you are caught in between.
Right.
That current is way stronger than even the strongest swimmer.
Yes.
And so you are going to get pulled out,
Right.
sometimes pretty far, and there's nothing you can do to get back to land directly.
Right.
And that is why it takes so many
There's
lives.
nothing you can do.
Nothing you can
no
do.
matter how strong you are.
You will never be able to get back the way you came.
explained it good the other day when you said it's like the thing you buy.
Yeah, you know these pools, these pools that you buy at your house. That's almost the size of like two jacuzzis,
I don't know what it's called.
and you use it to swim in the same spot.
Right.
That's what's happening,
Right.
but in the ocean, and unfortunately, it's very dangerous.
Right. And they can move you. They can pull you out 8 feet per second, which is faster than an Olympic swimmer. So you can't outswim it that way, and you can't fight it
Yeah,
that way. So you have to get out of that lane.
yeah. So we're telling how to get out of one.
Yeah.
If you're ever caught in a rip current. Oh
Rip
my!
current.
Look at me!
It's
If you're caught in a rip current, the first thing you need to remember is to stay calm.
yes. Stay calm because it won't pull you under.
It will not pull you under. What causes majority of the deaths in rip currents is fighting it.
Right.
You will waste all your energy, and then once you're finally at where it's going to put you, you've been swimming at what is an Olympic effort load
Right.
for nothing. You're now still out in the ocean. You want to stay calm. And yeah, so the quicker you can realize that you're in a rip current,
Yes.
the better.
Okay.
Even if you go on your back and float and wave down for help, it is better. Be 40 yards out from the beach, and hopefully someone will see you. You have a better chance in fighting it.
Right.
Now, if you are strong and you're swimming, even if you're not strong and you're swimming, the idea is once you know what you're in a channel of water that's pulling you out. So you don't want to go back to the beach. No one wants to go into the ocean. You want to swim sideways. You want to swim parallel to the beach. And you can use all your energy there. Just completely go sideways, and you will be getting pulled away from the beach as you're swimming sideways. But eventually you'll get out of that current. Once you feel you're no longer in that current, you can wait for help. You can start swimming back. But the last thing you want to do, because it even if you're not a great swimmer and
Right.
you're like, well, I can't touch the bottom anymore. Only thing I want to do is get back on the beach. Your best chances of survival will be to have energy out.
Yes.
Out.
You have to accept that you're getting pulled at the point.
You'll
Yeah.
have a higher chance of survival 50 yards out from the beach
Right.
with energy
Right.
than 50 yards out of the beach without energy.
Right.
No matter what your level of swimming, what else is any other situations.
Right.
But yeah, beyond that, you always want to have a buddy with you.
Yeah,
and-
because I was thinking when you were talking that if you start to feel nervous and you say I need to get out of I feel like I'm in one, I'm feeling the pressure, I'm trying to go sideways. You can start screaming immediately.
Yeah.
But if you're alone,
Yeah.
no one is going to hear you. So it is very important to swim with a buddy.
So it's important to swim with a buddy.
Even if it's not a buddy, if you see people like swim
Yeah.
where you see someone else
Yeah.
is suntanning or whatever, like
Yes.
just don't be alone.
And if you are the buddy, you don't want to help the person. No, okay, you know what I mean. You don't want to the last thing you need
into
the last thing you need is two people in a rip current.
Right.
So you can go get help
even if you could, you stop coming this way, go that way.
The important thing about it all is the knowledge.
The knowledge.
Like
about 100 people, they think, die each year in America from rip currents. People who just went for a day trip to a beach,
And I'm sure if you look at the numbers of the statistics of that on people who don't know the dynamics of a rip current, haven't prepared of what happens if a rip current, are high. Usually it's someone who's from like the surf. You don't really hear about much surfers and stuff because they have such a ocean knowledge.
Right.
And have they been caught in a rip current? Sure. Do they know what to do? Do they have the steps? Like, because you want to be prepared when you're going to the beach. You have to be aware that normal people not every day, but even when we're here, are getting caught in them. It's not like you got caught in a that
was so odd. Yeah.
Once one in a blue moon thing.
No.
It's so normal. So if you're going to the beach, you should learn to tell your kids.
Right.
And something I always preach: take up bodyboarding, guys. That
is your hack.
That is my hack.
That's your ocean hack.
My ocean hack is, first of all, I should be sponsored by a boogie board.
You can still be.
First of all, you're gonna have way more fun in a non-rip current situation. Oh, I want to go swim into the waves. No, shred some sweet waves on a bodyboard, and then second, you're rolling around with a flotation device. Get all your kids. Listen to me. Get all your kids into bodyboarding. It's cool. Get them a nice one with some flames on it, and there's literally
it straps to you.
You have a wristband. It straps to you, and in things like rip currents, they can be life-saving devices because it doesn't pull you under. And I literally just read a thing where a boy was saved by a $10, $15 boogie board, a cheap one you buy on the boardwalk, because it pulled him completely out. Did he have to get rescued? Yeah. But he was just on his board 100 yards out. And everyone pick up bodyboarding. It's the coolest thing since sliced bread. And it's life-saving.
It is. It's a flotation device. Whereas, if you don't want to wear a life jacket or whatever because it's hard to enjoy the water if you're being stuck up this way. But you can enjoy the water, but you have this because also it is so prevalent. If you think that we're being over dramatic, just Google rip currents, and you're going to see the daily statistics about it. But what I was going to say was, even if it doesn't happen to you, there have been people who someone else tried to drown them because they were
pulling onto
them.
Yeah. So
but in Croak and Crow, we then say, how does this apply?
How does this apply?
Spiritual life.
To my spiritual life. So rip currents equal bad, equal dangerous, equal deadly.
Yeah.
So let's turn this into a spiritual analogy, because why not? That's what we do.
That's what they're waiting for.
That's what we're waiting for. I was thinking about it earlier, right? I'm going to draw a blank. I talked to you about it. What were we looking at the rip current as?
Let me just say one. I found only one Bible verse on currents. Just one. It's Jonah 2:3. Jonah 2 verse 3. You hurled me into the very heart of the seas, and the currents swirled about me. All your waves and breakers swept over me.
Yeah.
So it's there in the Bible.
Yes. Okay. I remembered. We always talk about the unimportance of arguing things and going and trying to put your views and say, no, you're wrong, no, I'm wrong, being on the internet and typing and stuff. And it's all this just hateful back and forth.
Yeah.
And I was comparing the rip current as that pull out of like when you're in this mental anguish against just fighting somebody else.
Right.
Like you're just fighting someone and it's like, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, and you are just going head to head at something that's not going to move. Speak to the ears that hear you.
Right.
When you're just trying to speak to the ears that hear you. Let those who have ears hear.
But yeah, I got what you meant.
But those who have ears hear. When you're just trying to go to someone whose ears are not open, not only are you fighting against nothing, you're wasting your energy, and you're wasting your energy and time, just like a rip current. So you're thinking like, no, I can make this one guy budge. I can make this like change. Meanwhile, you're getting pulled away from what's important, and it's like
where you want to be. Yeah.
And it's a whole idea of let those who have ears hear you. When you're going out and you're spreading good and you're spreading love and you're living a good life, when you get caught in these things, it's very easy to get caught in a spiral with someone.
Right.
And you don't realize that it's just bringing you out into the ocean. So when you're in a situation, I think, where someone doesn't have the ears to hear, is taken away from your spiritual life, bringing you down, what do you want to do? Not go head on to the person. You want to get away from the situation. You want to go away to either side of the water, get away from the rip,
right,
into people, those who have ears, places where your time is worth more.
Right.
And then you swim right back to the shore. So many times do we get ourselves in this spiritual rip current where we think we're doing something.
Right.
We think my time is being... Oh, you know, I always bring this up because it bothers me of like when people judge and their argument is, no, I'm not really judging, or I'm not really hating a person. I love my neighbor, and because I love them, I'm going to judge them. And you get this like, this is what I need to do.
Right.
Not only are you going against something and being in a position, you're getting pulled so far out thinking you're doing a good cause.
Right.
I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the beach.
Right.
I'm
right.
20 yards, 30 yards,
right.
40 yards. And it's like,
depleting your energy and not making any progress.
You're not making any progress. And so this idea of like, oh no, it's because I know what I'm doing. This is it's like, now you're in the ocean.
Tunnel vision, which would be like a water tunnel, like you talked about, a wind tunnel.
Yeah.
You said you look for riptides. You can. There is something you can look for.
You can
in the water.
Generally, so you first on the top of the water, you'll see kind of a
is it like turned up?
Yeah, like like you see like the bubbles.
Yes.
You'll see sort of like a lane of that. But beyond that, one thing to look out for is the waves crashing. If there is a weird formation of like waves, like you see like waves kind of coming this way and this way,
right?
And in the center, there's not really waves crashing. That's like a red flag. But well, I'm sure in my editing I can post things to look out for it. But
I read that if you wear polarized sunglasses, you can.
Oh, I left my polarized sunglasses at home.
It'll show up better.
But I think the most important thing is just especially if you have kids or even adults, like it happens to adults way more than you think. Is put it as part of your getting ready for your beach trip.
Right.
It's, hey kids, do you have your sunblock? Do you have your towels? Okay. Now let's look at what to look out for a riptide. And it's like, as corny as that may seem, it's like, it's how common, I was just thinking about this, how common rip currents happen. And you, just like you said the other day, someone just like not maybe 3 blocks from us.
Right.
And we just pass it off as like, no, we don't pass it off, but it's like, oh, that's awful. But
for him. Yeah.
Now imagine that family for the rest of their life will care severely about rip currents.
Right.
And it's like, even though it's just another number on the St. Augustine beach,
right,
that family is now, for the next generation, will always remember the danger of rip currents. So don't let it get to that point. And look out for rip currents before then. Can
you look out for spiritual rip currents?
Yeah. Spiritual rip currents, like I said, it's things that it's I don't know how to put it. I think, just like when you're just getting in these daily entanglements of this, like trying to get your point across, trying to get your thing. I think every person needs to be more understanding of, I'm not, I'm not getting, the quicker you can realize I'm not getting back to the beach.
Right.
The quicker in life you can realize, in this situation, I'm not going to get anything out of this conversation.
Right.
I'm not going to get anything out of arguing with this person or letting this person, or letting this person thing, like anything that's pulling you away from God, of like, where you sometimes, because it's not a good feeling, which I'm sure in a rip current, it's not a good feeling to have to admit I'm in a rip current.
Right.
It's not a good feeling to admit, like, okay, I was just swimming for 5 minutes and now I realize I'm wasting my time.
Right.
Oh, I was just arguing with this person. I need to realize that
Right.
this isn't helping me spiritually. But the quicker you realize that, the quicker you can get out of there and go and do what you're meant to do, which is swim to the shore, pass on your good life and your good actions and your charitable deeds and all that.
Yeah.
But that's that, guys. That's that for One Word Wednesday. It was actually, is that 2 words? Rip current.
Well, I just said rip.
You try to get sneaky.
I do.
on them.
I get sneaky sometimes because I really wanted to talk about rip currents. So.
All right, we'll be back for a walkthrough Thursday. Everyone, this podcast only just talked about it. Go do your research on rip currents.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all about knowledge. Knowledge is power. Who says that?
I don't know.
Is that like G.I. Joe or something?
Keep your head above water.
Yeah. Peace.